Top, all the way to bottom of the map, I've seen it all. Taking off, lost your way, don't get attached to the current, spitting snow flurries. The rhythm won't worry, if you fall behind, I'll be humming till you hurry. Top,
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Noobs R Us GT3 Rookie Series Season 7 Race 2 at Valencia. I'm your host, Jeremy Cubbage, and right now we're seeing the drivers as they go into the pits and get ready to start their qualifying. We're going to be watching the AM split do their first 30-minute race, and then followed by the Pro and Pro-Am split. They will be doing their race simultaneously. We'll watch their second race afterwards. We do have some drivers already jumping out on track for their outlap. We're going to see some fairly close racing tonight. Valencia is a fairly closed-in track. You're going to see some side-by-side and three wides that shouldn't exist, but it's going to be fun either way. We've got some new drivers out on track today and a lot of returning drivers. Hopefully, we don't see too much bonking going on. I've already got one request to look at a livery, so we're going to look at Drew Freiberger's livery. I guess his is, well, I thought it was yellow. I guess it's not. It's red now. Got a nice, pretty red livery with the yellow stripes on the back. With Sim Racing Arnout on it. We love Drew's livery. We love the Wreck-'em race team liveries as well. Wreck-It. I gotta change that logo at the bottom of the screen there. It says GT Racing Academy. That doesn't exist anymore. Lots of drivers on their out laps about to cross the start-finish line for the first time. We do have a couple drivers that are starting their hot lap, but it looks like Joe Allenson's one of the first few to cross the start-finish line in that polka. He does have some people coming out of the pits ahead of him, so we may see some awkwardness with him being held up by that. But right now, the track is just nice and open for most everybody. It looks like we do have some people that are kind of bunched up in the end of Sector 1 there, coming out of Turn 11. Who's that leading that right there? Willems leading that group. So I think these guys are all in their outlap, and they should slow down as they come to this final corner down here. Well, Willems might not, but everybody else behind may. Chanley gave himself some more room. Gok did not. Guys behind are not giving themselves room like they're supposed to be doing, so they're going to end up competing with each other during qualifying. It's not really something that we want to see, but it is what it is. People want to do it. People are going to do it. I'd like to say hello to everybody in chat. We got Sean Bramer. Hello, Sean. He's out doing his laps right now as we're speaking, and then we got Douglas Furnish in chat, and of course we've got Nico Menendez. Hello, Nico. How are you? You're not racing tonight, are you? You're just doing the intermediates. Looks like we do have one lap put down so far from Allenson. He was the first one, as we were talking about before. He's done a 32.865 so far. So that's pretty dang good. We'll see what happens as they continue to improve. We got Jaden Lloyd just did a 31.8. He didn't think he should be in the pro split, so he decided he's going to go dominate the AMs and probably get moved. So you're just here to chat with me. Well, hello. While these drivers are out starting to do their hot laps, we're going to take a quick look at the track information here. Today's track is Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia, Spain. It's 4.005 kilometers roughly, or 2.489 miles. Has 14 turns. Elevation changes about 9 meters or 30 feet. Last AM winner on this track was Austin Gerber in the Ferrari 296. He did a 31.890. I believe Mr. Gerber is fighting in the pro split, so extremely fast. Yeah, it's a flat track for sure. Current NRU lap record, when I checked this, was from Chase Jones, 129.815. So 14 turns. It's going to be a counterclockwise track. First sector includes turns 1, 2, and 3. Fourth, I guess I'm looking at this wrong. There we go. I guess it includes turn 5 as well in ACC. So You're going to see a little bit of difference from what I've put on there. And it's hard for me to gauge that. But they ended roughly the same spot. But, yeah. Go back to the racing and see how people are doing on the track. Jaden Lloyd's looks like last lap was not an improvement. He is up on his time, 31.865 for Jaden. Mackey in second place has done a 32.580. He's down on his time as he's letting drivers pass so he can get a little bit extra space and do a faster lap as he comes out of the final corner now. Dodger is in third, 32.622. Allenson is up on his time. He's done a 32.865. He's making an improvement, which isn't going to be enough to move him into first, but it may move him into second if he's able to hold this time. He is only just finishing the second sector, so he's got a little bit further to go. We'll see how he does. I don't know why the camera is just staring at that corner. This is a silly camera angle. There you go. TV1 definitely expects there to be more cars on track at a time. That's why it sits still sometimes. All right. Allenson up a whole second on his time. A whole second is an improvement, and if he continues to hold this, it will move him up into first place. Let's see how he does as he crosses the finish line. Puts down a 31.810 for Allenson. What a great lap. Let's move to some other drivers with some major gains to be had. It looks like Bennett in 10th place is up 0.8 on his time. I don't know if he's invalid or not. We'll have to see. It looks like it's showing invalid, but he may or may not be. Last lap for him, or best lap for him, was a 33.335. He's currently up 0.6 on that. Losing a little bit of time on the entry, gaining it on the way out. He may be invalid on that last corner, but he is up a whole second right now. Yep, invalid lap. Does not count. Hauser up a half a second. He's about to cross the finish line now, moving up into 5th place. Oh, I just realized I didn't have the lap time spread information on screen. Here we go. Put that on there for you. So you guys can see how close these drivers are in top 1, 2, and 3. They're just picture-esque distance between each other. Like Jaden Lloyd, 31.865. Martinez in third, 31.870. It's just wild. What is this song? Let's get a decent song going here. The free music on Spotify gets kind of iffy sometimes. We got a new driver on track, Carl Banning. I don't think we've seen him before. He's making improvements on his time, but invalid, so he has a potential to go a whole second and a half faster. We'll see what happens as he's coming through the first corner now. I love that livery. I believe he posted these liveries in the Discord, so if you guys want to see more, he's done a couple of them for different cars. Check it out in the Discord. Yeah, he is making improvements, up a half a second just through the first couple of corners. He comes through turn 4 now into turn 5, up a whole second on his time. A whole second is a good improvement, but not enough to move him up more than a couple positions, so he does have to make another couple good improving corners. Surprised by how much Dodger has improved lately. He's been practicing like crazy, so, and he's been fairly committed. So up in 4th place and in the pits, I think Dodger's like, you know what, I'm good with this. See how Banning does as he goes into the end of the second sector. This is the most dangerous part of the track right here, with these weird S's and then that hard right-hander. Coming down this mid-track straight, I guess you could call it. There is no real back straight in this. I guess between turns 6 and 7 would be a straight, but... All right, coming around the final corner now. Up a second and a half on his time. This is a great improvement. Continuing to improve a little bit. A second and a half is going to move him up wildly from 15th place into 9th place. Top 10 for Mr. Banning. Plunkett, midway through his lap, is invalid, it looks like. No, he might not be. I think he did an out lap and came back in. We'll see how he does. He's up 0.7 on his time, so can definitely make an improvement and go up a couple positions from 11th place. He is coming up on some cars ahead, and he doesn't want to get held up by them. See one of them, I think is Drew Freiberger going off track, staying out of his way. Plunkett up 6/10. Should move him up a couple positions, at least into the top 10, maybe 8th, 7th. There it is, 7th place. It's a good improvement. Moving way down in the bottom here, I was going to look at Land Cloud, brand new driver to our series and community. Have never seen him here before. His best lap's 35.622, and is making improvements as he's coming through the. Oh, see a car spinning around there. Who was that? That was Gok, is who that was. Anyways, Cloud is losing time because I don't know if he got distracted or what, but he's going to make a little bit of time up on around the final corner, but he definitely had the ability to gain some extra time there. So an improvement nonetheless, not enough to move him up out of 20th place. So he's going to stay fairly low. We do have a couple drivers still driving, have yet to set a lap. Beluga and Dixon, neither of these two drivers have set a lap. Dixon hasn't even done a lap. Looks like he's 24-minute out lap, I guess. I don't know how that works. There he goes. Dixon's just done a lap and moved up into 17th. So. Beluga. Vladimir Beluga. Still has to set a lap. He's done 4 invalid laps. The wall is up on their time. 133.392. He's coming around the final corners now. He's up a whole second, so this is enough to move him up into the top 10 for sure. Just doesn't want to get held up by that driver ahead of him. Oh, he's going wide and invalidating. It does not matter at this point. We got CR Race Time. I don't know what their real name is, but obviously they don't want that known. That's fine. So CR Race Time, up 6/10 on their time. 35.492 recently. Definitely has some room to grow. And let's see, if he moves up about a half a second, that will probably move him up 2 or 3 positions as well. He had a fun battle with him last night, Galal. All right, well, he's your driver to watch then. Next week's going to be Monza with a pit stop and everybody combined. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to be too big of a deal. We've only got 27 AM drivers this time around and only like 15 or so Pro-Am. So race time moving up into 20th place. Not going to be enough to really move up a whole lot, but it does move. Galal's still making improvements on their time. He's definitely able to make up his time in that first 1 and 2 sectors. He loses, at least the last time we watched him, he was having some issues through turn 12, 13, and 14. So we'll have to see if he continues to improve. Got 7 minutes left in qualifying. The drivers are pushing as hard as they possibly can. Yeah, he's definitely making an improvement this time around. Braking nice and early. Holding his gains, not going invalid like he did last time. 8/10 up from 15th place. Up into 8th. Good job for Mr. Galal. Dixon. Improvement on their time. We still have some drivers making improvements in different places. I'm not able to catch all of them at once, but I am looking at the greatest gains here. Dixon gaining some time. Cloud just lost some time. Okay, we don't need to go back and watch him. I was going to, but and you got Drew making an improvement too. Where's he at? Okay, he's in his first sector and going to the second sector. Let's see how Dixon does. Looks like his best sector is the 3rd sector, if I'm not mistaken there. All right, or he's made an improvement. That's what he's done. Yes, now we can see the improved sectors. Now I'm actually understanding how the track map's working. So both those last sectors were improvements for him. Let's see how he does as he goes through the final corner now. Losing time on the way in. Early enough on the throttle to gain a little bit. It's not going to be a lot. He will move up a position. Overtaking Drew. However, Drew is up a half a second on his lap time, so we'll see what happens. Oh, he may have lost a good amount. Nope, he's good. That must have just ate the curb. Up 8/10 on his time, going from 18th up into 16th. Good improvement for Drew. Dodger. We were just talking about his improvements. He didn't think he would be in first again this week. or at least in the top 3. But now he's in first, making an improvement on his time. His best lap was a 31.582, and he's still increasing that time. I do foresee him in the next season or two fighting against Austin Gerber. Austin was the last driver to win in the M split on this track with a similar time, so he's got a slower car ahead of him. He's definitely going to want to get around. We're losing a little bit of time now. That is Mike Cortez ahead of him, actually up on his time as he comes out of turn 11 into turn 12. 10 times the hymns are putting down G's. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of pros this time around. Oh man, Mike losing it through the final corner. Yeah, the overall skill of the community has been greatly rising. I completely agree with that. And it's thanks to you guys helping out. I mean, you guys do an awesome job. The Wreck 'em Race Team guys as well. But yeah, thank you, Nico. You're like one of the first people to volunteer to help somebody if they need help. So thank you, Mr. Nico. Use the best. Drew losing his time. It looks like he's in 15th. He's got some time to improve. It looks like Sean Bramer's out on track in his purpley pinky car. Oh, Woody. Hello, how are you? Unfortunately, we don't do console, so we're PC only. There's no crossplay between PC and console. But you can still go to the sim grid, check out other hosts on there, and see what console leagues are on there. But yeah, just unfortunately, we don't have any way to host a console league without being on console ourselves. Bramer still up on his time, nearly 3/10 up as he's coming through the final corners now. Down the hill, gaining a lot of time on the way in. Not early enough on the gas to hold his time, but he is still up. Looks like he's going to make an improvement. Unfortunately, this improvement's only going to move him up one position into 18th, just above Dixon. Mackey coming through the final corners now. He's got a bunch of cars ahead of him. Mackey is fastest 32.250, but he is making an improvement. It's going to put him into the 31s, possibly just into the 31s. No improvement in position, just an improvement in time. 31.992. Yeah, no worries, Woody. You're welcome to sit and watch and join the Discord if you like. There's nothing saying you can't do that. You can always get help. Just won't be able to be on track with you at the same time. Cloud up on their time. Final minute and 57 seconds of qualifying. Cloud coming through out of the second sector into the third sector now. Up 7/10. 7/10 will be able to move him up, but it's only going to be another position. I mean, the gap between Cloud and 19th is a whole second and some change, so he'll be able to jump over top of race time for position, but here we go. Crossing the start finish line now. Jumping over race time just like I'd said. Martinez has moved into the first place position with a 31.482. That is faster than the fastest lap done by Gerber, if I remember correctly, from the last season. So, not the last season, but the last time we ran here. So, looks like Martinez still has some time to improve. Beluga has finally done a lap and is making an improvement, a whole second up on his time. Missing the apex. Definitely a newer driver. Happy to have here. Got some work to do. Carrying a little bit too much speed. And he's got a car behind him he's probably worried about. Going really wide. Top 5 are cooking. You're absolutely right. Still up, and he's not invalid. So let's see how Vladimir Beluga does as he comes through the final corners now. So it doesn't matter. He's sliding across the track. Hopefully during the race he holds his brakes for that. Oh my goodness. We don't have anybody on an improving time right now. It looks like everybody... Well, Galal still has another lap, I guess. I think he just crossed in time to do another lap, so... As long as... Nope, he's invalid right there, so that doesn't matter either. Beluga may have crossed. Yeah, I think he got across as well. You're up front for once, yeah? You're up in the front. In 5th place. Oh, he's watching without audio. There we go. I'll type it out to him. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Some would do great in the pro split. But we do still have some drivers out on track. Nobody really making any improvements other than Beluga. Beluga has, as we saw, has been having issues with his braking points, hitting his apexes and stuff. So, livery rundown. You want to see your own livery? We'll look at it in a bit. We'll wait until you're not in the pits. I want to see Beluga come across the line with an improved time. Up 3/10. Hopefully he doesn't spin on the way out of this next corner here. There we go. So no spinning. Gaining a little bit of time on the way out. But he is going to make an improvement on his time. Not going to move up in position. That is all of our drivers for qualifying. Slamming into a wall on the, in the end there. Apparently I'm not allowed to hit drive, so there's that. Okay. Since I'm not allowed to hit drive, I will quit and rejoin. That way I can. There we go. Got our reconnect. What is this singing? Next song, please. Just for now. There we go. All right, now that we're back with it, I will run down our drivers one by one. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a good enough view to see each one of these drivers. I guess this will probably be the best we got. So this is how we're going to run it. All right, P1 we got Aguedo Martinez. P2, Shane Dodger. 3, Nicholas Dwyer. Rounding up top 3, Joey Allenson in 4th. Jaden Lloyd in 5th. Alan Mackey in 6th. Justin Hauser in 7th. Glenn Jacobs in 8th. Ziad Galal, I can't remember how I pronounce his name. He told me the other day, in 9th. Rounding out top 10 is Garrick Bennett. 11th is Tyler Plunkett. 12th, Ryan Chanley. 13th is Mike Cook. 14th, Mike Cortez. Drew Freiberger in 15th. Carl Banning in 16th. Sean Bramer in 17th. Isan Gok in 18th. Phil Dixon in 19th. Lan Cloud, 20th. CR Race Time in 21st. Ethan Grau in 22nd. The Controller King. Bobby Harold in 23rd. 24th is Kevin Willems. 25th, Ian Gazzoni. 26th, Vladimir Beluga. And one of the newer drivers as well, Charles Apgar in 27th. That is our lineup for the GT3 Rookie Series. While these drivers are waiting on the grid, I am going to run a quick 2-minute ad. Actually, you know what? Let's do Jaden Lloyd's car really quick, and then we'll do the ad. It looks like a gator. Gator skins. Jaden Lloyd's about to go out and start his outlap now. While he does that, we're going to run the ad. And I'll be back here shortly. All right. Those of you that are subscribed, thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for being here. Drivers are jumping out on track now. We're going to start their out lap. Should finish this out lap. It should take just over 2 minutes, so the ad should be done. We should be getting ready to go green right after that. We'll take a quick drink, get ready for the race. 30 minutes. No pit stop. We'll get the qualifying stuff off screen. We don't need that no more. And we will stop the music. How's everybody doing? How are you doing? Oh, no noodles? Boobies, he says. Guido Martinez flying down the track trying to heat up his tires. Getting well ahead of his relative required position. No bonking, please. You're right on that one. We do got a lot of new drivers between race 1 and race 2. So we may see some bonking with the newer drivers on track. So we're hoping not to, but we may. Guido? Guido, where are you going? Get back on track. Stop texting and driving. Ooh, flying through that corner. The ad has completed. The drivers are going in the side-by-side except for Martinez. He keeps driving off track. I don't know what he's doing. Texting and driving or whatever. Trying to make a Hodjar impression, I guess. Drivers are about to go side-by-side. They're kind of starting up the side-by-side now, doing the last bit of tire warming. And we're about to start the race. We got a car completely stopped for some reason. 26th place? Is that Beluga? What is going on? Side-by-side formation. I don't know why that driver is so far down the left over there. He does not need to be that far. He's just trying to be defensive to start. We're about to go green here in Valencia. Green light at Valencia. Martinez staying on the racing line on his way in. We see a car flying across the track already. Who is that? Oh my goodness gracious. Death has occurred. Lap 1, turn 1. Looks like somebody spun immediately. The leaders are starting to kind of run away here. No, my boy. I believe that was Galal that spun out. It was. Oh, looks like he's going to try and recover and get back out on track, but he did take out some drivers with him in that instance. It looked like he was spinning before the corner, so he almost looks like he got spun into it. Hopefully it doesn't affect him too much. With that said, we do have some racing going on up ahead. Mike Cortez trying to go to the inside of some corners to at least show face on track. Lots of side-by-side action going on. Plunkett and Banning racing for that 11th place position on lap 1. Plunkett has Freiberger behind to contend with. Freiberger trying to just keep up with both those two drivers. Drew hitting his braking point. He can take a lot of this curve that some of these other cars cannot, so he's going to be able to carry speed around this corner. The lap 1 pole sitter is going to be Guido Martinez. Nicholas Dwyer and Joe Allenson will be the top 3. Lloyd has moved up into 4th. A lot of drivers did move up, which is good to see. We have a driver in the pits. Yeah, I put them both on the list. Lloyd right on the tail of Allenson. Not going to go for an overtake. Drew going for the overtake into turn 2 is not going to happen. He just poked his nose in, but it didn't matter. Martinez. Dwyer still going at it for that first place position. Allinson's now a whole second off. Martinez may have maybe given a run for his money with Dwyer behind him. If Martinez drives off the track like we saw during the outlap, we'll definitely lose a position or two there. We'll have to see how that goes. Cloud wants to tuck his nose in. We see Dodger getting ready to make an overtake happen. On Cloud in through turn 8, side by side. Cloud still has a position into turn 9. They're crossing through turn 10. Dodger has to try and gain that time back. He's got to get the better exit here. Looks like he may. Nope, he's not going to. It was fairly narrow there. Gonna move up. We see a yellow flag with Glenn Jacobs. We'll see what happened here. We'll back it up really quick. Looks like he was alone. May have just been a curb issue. Yep, that's exactly what it was. Cloud and Dodger still going at it. We'll have to see what happened as we move forward. They're still side by side down the front straight now. About to go into turn 1. Cloud on the inside. Side by side they go. He's going to back out and tuck right back in behind Dodger. Dodger going wide with Drew ahead, also going extremely wide. They got to be careful doing that. They will get their track limit penalties. They do that too often. Cloud still right behind Dodger. Dodger was able to get around through the last corner or two, but looks like he might actually run away. Cloud is actually up 5 positions, whereas Shane's down 12. So Shane is going to just try and run around everybody and get going. You can see him already getting the overtake alongside Drew in through turn 7. I love that corner. Into the braking zone of turn 8, side by side. Drew tucking right back in. And Shane's going to run away. He's got a lot of ground to cover, but he has the ability to do it starting up in the front. We'll see how far up he can go. Lloyd getting overtaken, it looks like. Just missed it by 2 drivers. He must have slipped or something. 2 drivers down in 6th place now for Lloyd. Got a lot of ground to make back up. Lloyd does have a run down the front straight on Bennett. Is it going to be enough for him to poke his nose in? He's thinking better of it. He's going to kind of stay back into turn 1. Carry the speed as much as he can and hopefully get an overtake into turn 2. Not going to happen there either. Until he's being fairly methodical at this point. Jaden Lloyd returning after a season off. I guess it was the start of school season for him, so he took some time off, focused on school, has come back, and is now in the AM split. He wanted to be in AM split last season that he did race with us, was put into the pro split. So we'll see how he does as he's in the AM split. Flashing his lights, showing intent for the overtake. Bennett going to allow it to happen. Looks like there may have been a little bit of a touch there as these drivers go in through turn 8 now. Lloyd's going to try and catch back up to the drivers ahead. Got another overtake going on. Mike Cortez has 2 drivers overtaking the same corner side by side into turn 9. Mike Cortez does have the advantage through turn 10, staying really narrow. You can see that driver behind Plunkett trying to gain some time, but he slipped just enough not to be able to get that overtake done. Mike Cortez getting slippy there. That's going to lose him some time. Plunkett may have the speed to try and put his nose into the next corner. Dangerous corner for overtaking if you don't know what you're doing. You can see he did put his nose in, but it wasn't enough to get alongside. But he's going to try and gain that speed down the straight. Both of these cars have similar power down the straight, so it's going to be hard for him to do that. Got another overtaking opportunity from Sean Bramer. Sean Bramer putting his nose in, hitting that Porsche, spinning him all the way around. Jumping back on track in a dangerous place. Sean Bramer going to get penalized for the spin and then penalized for the unsafe rejoin. I'm not saying he will, but there's a possibility. Hopefully the rest of his race goes by a little bit smoother. He does have Dixon behind to worry about now. Is he going to be defensive against Dixon? It doesn't look like it. I think he's saying, you know what? Nope, he's going to be just defensive enough to keep that Porsche behind him. Extremely unfortunate. That Porsche is now alongside Bramer as they go into turn 2. Sean going extremely wide. Because he's wide, that Lamborghini's there. He's slipping in front of the Lamborghini. Definitely, that damage is definitely causing him to be kind of slippy in some places that we wouldn't normally see that. See, he's going really wide. He may have just enough damage that is not gonna really be helpful to him. Moving all the way up to the front. Martinez and Dwyer still going at it. Dwyer right on Martinez's tail for that P1 position. You can see the train of cars way behind. 6 seconds behind is the third place and on. But these two drivers are fighting for that first place position. Looks like Martinez did a 31.752 and Dwyer's 31.767. They are extremely rapid for AM drivers and on pace with each other. So it's not something you see very often in the AM split. It's two drivers that are on pace fighting for first. Martinez starting to pull away a little bit. As the lap progresses, it looks like the first sector is definitely Martinez's best sector. So that means Dwyer is going to end up catching up in the second or third sector. We'll have to see. You can see Dwyer just a little bit more narrow there, gaining a little bit of time on Martinez ahead, but not really quite enough to get on his tail. He's got to get the better exit, better run into some of these corners to gain that time. That corner was good as well. Able to carry more speed through that corner than that BMW ahead, gaining the time through the final corner, going much wider than Martinez there. He's going to get more narrow, get on the gas earlier, may see an overtake opportunity down the front straight. Right on his tail down the front straight. He's poking his nose, getting as much draft as he can. He's going extremely narrow. He does not need to be that narrow. Dwyer, because he was so narrow, had to brake so much earlier. Pro-Am promotion incoming. Maybe. I have to see. Dwyer's going to try and get him in another lap. We're going to move back a little bit on the grid. We got Chanley, Bennett and Banning all together. That's hard to say. Fighting for this fifth place position. Ooh. You can see that Aston tucking his nose in. He was looking for the overtake, wasn't able to do it for that sixth place position. This whole train of cars from fourth all the way down to 10th, 11th place. There we go. He's poking his nose in. This is a dangerous place to be. You can see that Wreckham Race Team car of Bennett behind, just almost touching him. Going to try and do a switchback. Is not going to work. Chanley is going to run away at this point. Bennett's just trying to catch back up as best he can. He doesn't want to fight with any of those drivers behind him, because as soon as he starts battling Banning behind him, it's over and Chanley will run away. And that's kind of what Chanley wants to happen. You can see Benny now has Banning right behind. He's going to go defensive into the final corner. Is it going to be enough? They are going to be side by side through the apex of the final corner. It looks like Bennett in that Ferrari was able to maintain the lead through that down the straight, but it's not going to be enough. These two are going to be side by side into the first corner. With that said, we've got Stu's Gaming on Twitch. Hello, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Bennett is also very improved. He is, absolutely. There we go. Bennett has retained the lead through the first corner, ahead of Banning. And like I had said, Chanley will run away, and Chanley has run away. That's exactly what he wanted. Now Bennett's got to hold off this train of 4 cars behind him or run away. Bennett is going to have the same mindset as Chanley, though, in this situation. He really wants Hauser to start battling Banning behind. But it looks like instead, Hauser and Cortez are going to be battling in the back a little bit. So he's going to start falling off, which means Bennett has time to focus. Oh my goodness gracious, we just saw a send almost from Cortez. Cortez trying to get the overtake done in through turn 8 now, into turn 9. And the overtake has been completed. Moving up, we got Allenson and Lloyd on track. Fighting for that. Ooh, wait a second. This is Mackey and Allenson, it looks like. I can't really tell what's going on. I'm seeing a weird relative thing going on here. Or rather, my relative is being weird. But Allenson has Mackey behind. Mackey has the better run through the final corner. He's going to go to the inside. Side by side down the front straight, crossing the start-finish line. It's fairly narrow, but he has completed the overtake before the apex of the corner. However, you can see Allenson in that Porsche is able to get a switch back into turn 2 side by side. That Porsche does have the opportunistic position to get an overtake done through turn 3 now, but he's not going to be. He's going to go defensive there and keep that's McLaren from poking his nose back in, which has allowed Chanley to catch back up. Chanley now trying to get the overtake done. Not going to be in a good position to complete the overtake into the next corner. He's going to tuck right back in behind that 720S. Good sequence of events. Very safe driving from all three of these drivers. It's great to see, especially in an AM split, second race of a rookie series. Moving all the way to the back, we got Sean Bramer again. Looks like he's in 21st place, but does have an opportunity to overtake CR race time ahead. See how Bramer does. We don't often see Bramer in a position to attempt an overtake. At least a clean area. It looks like he's going to slip and fall off here. We may have to come back to him in just a little bit. Ooh, who's that? Oh, Beluga going into the pits. Okay. I wonder what was going on. Martinez and Dwyer have kind of fallen off from each other. There is Gazzoni, after he was in the pits for quite a while, jumping out on track as well. So we got between P1 and 2 is a whole second off. Mackey and Allenson still going at it. Chanley has fallen off again from those two. The battle that's going on right now is in the mid-pack here between Bennett, Banning, Cortez, and Chanley. They're kind of splitting up a little bit, but they are still fighting to get back in those positions. We have to kind of jump back and forth between drivers here, kind of see what's going on, because there's a couple different battles I want to see for this 4th place position. If Mackey can get the overtake done, he absolutely has the pace to do so. You can see that McLaren just closing up that gap to the Porsche ahead in through turn 8 now, into turn 9. Mackey right on the tail of Allenson through turn 10 and 11. Trying to get the better run on the way out. Switch camera view so we're watching Mackey here. Mackey taking better corner here. He's going to close up the gap a little bit. Got to go wide to avoid the bonk. But is he going to go narrow? He's not. That Porsche is going to stay extremely, extremely narrow into the final corner. This is going to allow Mackey to get to the inside with better speed. Not able to hold it, though. Had to avoid from hitting him. But he's going to stay right behind him, use all of that. You can almost see it's just one car. There he goes. Splits into 2 cars. Allenson's going to kind of force him into the center of the track. Oh, my goodness. Side by side. A little bit of a balk. Sending Mackey or Allenson off track there. I don't think that was anything deliberate. It was just enough to force him off track, but that was the right move from Allenson. You saw him stay into the center of the track, forcing Allenson to be in the center, and then moves back to the outside. Unfortunately, it didn't work keeping him behind, but that was the right thing to do. Now Allenson's got to worry about Chanley behind in that Aston. Once again, Mackey ahead with that mindset. I hope these guys behind me start to battle so that I can run away, and it may happen. Allenson now has to be defensive once again and stay defensive. We just saw a car off back behind. I believe that was Bennett. It was Bennett, but he's going to hold that position and kind of close up the gap to Chanley ahead. I have to see how this goes. Almost every one of these drivers from 4th place all the way to like 9th or 10th are within a gap of each other. So kind of awkward situation with the back markers in the mix here. And Guzzonia back there. He's kind of mixed it up. Got side-by-side between Allenson and Chanley. Chanley not able to hold the side-by-side. Allenson's going to try and run down the straight and get away. He doesn't want a repeat of last lap. But Mackey's now so far ahead. You can see Chanley not going to be able to tuck in. But was right on his tail. Staying more narrow. Side-by-side into turn 2. Chanley getting the overtake done. You can see Bennett trying to follow through. Oh my goodness, and Banning. Allenson just lost 3 positions in that one single corner. That is not what he wants to see. He is seeing some more battling going on. He's going to gain that position back from Banning. Now he's got to get it from Bennett too. He is getting it from Bennett. I wonder if Bennett gave him that position because it was almost a bonk. He was like, you know what, you can have it. Kind of went right back to where we were. However, Chanley has now run away from Allenson, and the battle has moved further back in the field. Moving up to the front again. Martinez and Dwyer are now within a half second of each other again. We're approaching. Oh my goodness! If that's not commentator's curse, I don't know what is. Dwyer's got to recover and keep going. Keep away from P3. Luckily, Dwyer was able to recover in the sand and get back on track without hitting anything. That's extremely unfortunate. The battle is now no longer occurring between first and second. Ooh, I'm going to back this up to what we had here. We had some off-track stuff going on as the drivers went through turn 12. Bennett spinning a little bit, able to get back on track, losing 2 positions as well. Mike Cortez is now leading the train. Banning has run away. Banning and Allenson are trying to fight each other again for that 5th place position. A lot of battling going on in this mid-pack. Chanley jumping in the pits after that. Drew running away. Lamb Cloud, one of our new drivers, is right behind Galal. Crossing the start-finish line. He's going to poke his nose in. Not going to happen. He's just going to tuck right back to the outside. Hopefully get the better exit in through turn 1. You can see Galal kind of going wide there. Got a back marker in the mix here. He's just going to stay wide and let these drivers pass. Oh my goodness gracious, we got a little bit of possibility of bonks going on. Luckily nothing bad came of that. That back marker of Apgar just chilling in the back. We're going to move back up to the midfield. Actually, hang on just a second. We got Dwyer and Jaden Lloyd. Jaden flashing his lights, almost hitting him. My goodness gracious. Jaden got to catch back up to Dwyer. Dwyer's going to try and get around Harold as quickly as he can. You can see how narrow Dwyer's going to be. He's going to move back to the outside. Jaden staying on the inside of Harold. Not able to get an overtake for that 2nd place position, but he is able to get around the back markers and continue the battle. A lot of back markers in the mix here. I'm going to move back to this mid-pack battle that we were watching with Banning and Allenson. They are still fighting. Mike Cortez behind. You can barely see him in the top right corner of the screen there. And Dodger in the mix as well. Got a couple battles to be had here. Lots of battles going on for different positions. Banning kind of falling off of Allenson ahead. Hauser, driver we haven't really seen, is finally caught up to the group. Bennett and Mike Cortez. Hauser down 3 positions from his qualified position. We're in the final 8 minutes of the race, so he does have some time to gain those positions back. Tucking in right behind Bennett, trying to get the better exit through turn 8. Into turn 9, you can see he's being a little bit more narrow. It doesn't need to be. Almost want to go a little bit more wide so he can give it a better run on the exit of turn 11 down the straight. Falling off a little bit. A lot of cars in the mix. A lot of back markers in the mix as well. See Harold being overtaken by Mackey. Allenson. Oop, I clicked on the wrong one because we got so much crap going on. There we go. Banning and Allenson going for it. Allenson trying to get around some back markers you can see in that Porsche ahead. actually disregard that. That was Allenson getting overtake done on Banning down the straight. Banning trying to tuck in and stay right there. He doesn't want to lose that position. Now they got the back markers ahead with CR Race Time and Bobby Harold ahead. Unfortunately, because of the positioning of that back marker, they're both going to be held up, and the back marker has all that damage. You can see the Porsche trying to tuck to the inside. Doesn't want to risk anything, though, knowing that he is a back marker and he's got the damage. Both of these drivers have damage. He doesn't want to stick his nose in and end up spinning a back marker. It's not something you want to do. He is going to go to the inside at this point. The BMW is going to follow in. It's a good place to get around right there. Both those drivers getting around safely. Banning does not want to fall off from Allenson. Any moment that Allenson goes for an overtake, Banning wants to stick right in there and stay right behind him, follow through for the overtake. That way both drivers get the overtake done and he doesn't get stuck. Looks like there's a possibility of that exact thing happening. Allenson is going to run away. Banning sending it to the inside. That was extremely dangerous. Luckily did not touch that Ferrari. I believe it was a Ferrari. Was that? No, it was a McLaren. I'm sorry. He said that you're not running away. Down the front straight they go. Allenson going defensive once again. Going to stay defensive. That's going to allow Banning to move to the outside. Allenson's going to hold the inside line through turn one. The BMW not able to get the overtake done, not able to gain enough speed to go for another overtake into turn two. Doesn't matter, though. Allenson is going to be defensive. I want to move up the field again. The Dwyer and Jaden Lloyd fighting for this second place position, both in Mustangs. We saw a send earlier from Jaden that allowed him to go off track and lose those positions, but he was able to gain back up right behind Dwyer. Dwyer's now 10 seconds off of first place. Martinez just relaxing at this point. 5 minutes left in the race. He just wants to hold that position. Dwyer, however, has to fight for his second place position with Jaden right behind. Jaden going a little bit more narrow, allows him to get side by side out of turn 10 and 11. He's going to tuck back in behind him, not able to hold the speed. Jaden once again poking his nose in, has to go wide again. He's going to try and go narrow into the final corner. It looks like he may be side by side. He's going to back out again. Does not want to hit him. But he's got the speed and an overtake opportunity. It looks like it's going to be completed before they even get the start-finish line. What an overtake by Jaden. Good job. Up into second place. That battle is still to be had. You can see Dwyer does not want to give up that second place position. Even though he's fighting for podium, he still wants that extra point for being in top three. Losing time on that apex. That apex kind of just slowed him down. Going through turn 4 now. Losing a lot of time to Jaden. He's already a whole second off of Jaden. This is abnormal. He did start out in third. Jaden was actually down 3 positions from where he started. So Dwyer has the ability to keep up with him. I wonder if he's lost some tire or has an extreme tire wear or something that's caused him to lose that time is outside of the slipstream range. Moving back to the large pack of cars here. 7th place all the way down to, looks like 11th are all fighting. They do have a back marker in the mix of Bobby Harold. Mike Cortez has to be defensive against Bennett here. Bennett now has Hauser to worry about. A lot of close racing to be had still. A lot of racing in the AM split. There's only 27 drivers or something like that. A lot of racing. We're going to go to the pro split. There will be a lot of racing in the first half of the race. Then after that, it's going to split up, even if they have 20-something drivers. I think they're in the teens, though. I have to see. Bennett is pulled away from Hauser behind and kind of closed up a little bit to Mike Cortez. Almost the same gap between the two. Bennett's just hoping, oh, we can get a driver pulling into the pits. Who is that? Race Time? Okay, Race Time's going in the pits. And Plunkett's going in the pits as well. I'm going to move back to Lloyd again. Lloyd and Dwyer still fighting for that. You can see Dwyer's closing up that gap. We got a couple of different races to watch. Still trying to get within that slipstream range. Moving back to Hauser again. Hauser, Bennett, and Cortez still fighting for that 7th place position. Most of the racing is done at this point. Last 2.5 minutes of the race. There's still a little bit here and there. Some people jumping into the pits. I think they might not have had enough fuel. But 2 drivers in the pits moving down rapidly. Who was that? Just went off. I didn't even pay enough attention. That was Bennett. Bennett just went off track. Must have missed his braking point. I'm sorry about that. Side by side now with Dodger. Dodger down 8 positions from where he started. He has gained some positions back. But I think at this point, Dodger's just trying to finish the race without losing any more positions. So he can continue to race for a possible podium. Dodger trying to get his nose in. He's going to be on the inside into the final corner. Side by side they go. Similar speed on the way out. It's going to be extremely narrow here. He definitely could move further to the right. There he goes. These AM drivers aren't comfortable with each other around, so they stay extremely narrow. You're going to see more from the pro drivers getting side by side, which is why you do see more balks from the pro drivers, as they are more comfortable around each other. That closer racing does allow for more balks to happen. Dwyer closing up his gap. There's two races on track right now, and it's between Dodger and Bennett and Dwyer and Lloyd for the... looks like we're going to have another lap after this. Maybe? We'll have to see. P1 is coming up to a back marker of 23rd place. Apgar. Apgar. Oh, not 23rd. Who is that? Doc? Oh. It is. Yeah, he's just stopped on the side of the road. Get back on track. Go on. Don't be scared. I know you're new here. Go on. There you go, buddy. Nervous. Dwyer closing up the gap ahead. He absolutely has the pace to do it. His best lap was a 31.7, so he absolutely can get around him, and you know he wants to. Martinez is just crossing that first corner. You can see him just a moment ago, as he was about 10 seconds ahead of Dwyer and Lloyd. Dwyer going wide through that first corner. Hopefully it doesn't get him a drive-through. Coming up to some more back markers, which is good for Dwyer and bad for Lloyd. Lloyd just wants to get around as quickly as he can. You can see him side by side with that Porsche. Porsche's going extremely wide, allowing both drivers to pass. Porsche says, let me just finish the race. Lloyd still has another back marker ahead. However, they are halfway through the lap now. Just nearly. Dwyer has fallen off a little bit, gaining a little bit of time onto Lloyd again as they go through turn 8. Not going to be enough to get alongside anytime soon. Do have a couple battles to watch. We're going to finish watching this one as Dwyer gains a little bit extra time. Martinez coming around the final corner now in first place. He will be the winner of race 1 for the AMs. They still have another race yet to do. Lloyd and Dwyer with a back marker in between of Ethan Grau. You can see the controller king glitching around because of his controller inputs. Lloyd's going to be in second. Dwyer will be in third. Mackey in fourth. I want to move back to this battle between 8th and 9th. You can see Dodger moving to the inside for the final corner, trying to gain 2 positions here. Only going to be able to get 1. Backs out. Still going to be side by side down the front straight. Dodger just barely ahead. Gets that 8th place position over Bennett. What an overtake. Moving back, though, we've got Dixon as well on Mike Cook ahead. Still another battle to be had. Dixon trying to gain all the ground he can on Mike Cook ahead before the end of the lap. If we can see a similar situation to develop, it does not look like it. He is gaining some time, but not enough. He really needs to outbrake him and out accelerate. Closing the gap, but it's not going to be enough to cross the start-finish line ahead. But Mike Cook will hold that 14th place position. Plunkett behind. And Jacobs, both those drivers about to finish in their relative positions as well. Chanley and Bramer will be the last two drivers to cross the start-finish line in 18th and 19th, respectively. What an awesome first race for the AM drivers. Unfortunately, we will not be watching their second race. We'd still have another driver out on track. 25th position, I think it's, no. I don't know who that is. There we go. Looks like it's Beluga just trying to get another lap in. But yeah, overall, what a wonderful race by the AM drivers. I'm going to go ahead and switch the server over now. Get some music playing for just a moment. Switch the server over to the Pro-Am and Pros, and we'll see how they're doing. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience as we switch servers. All right, we're going to jump right back into it. Make sure we're on blank. There we go. I did hit drive, correct? I did. Good. All right. We'll run down same kind of thing as what we did before. We've got 17 pros and pro-ams on track. We got Nick Kanya leading the pack in first. Second is Mike Burkhoff. Third, James Kosovu. Fourth, Austin Gerber. That'll be all of our pro drivers. Fifth is Will Figgins. Sixth, Tony Danzig. Seventh, Greg Clark. Eighth, Russell Harrell. Ninth, Simon Tonkin. Rounding out top 10 is Jake Willems. 11th, Will No. 12th, Emmanuel Ramirez. 13th, Rolando Ramos. 14th, Casey Swanseeger. 15th, Devin Anthony. 16th, Wes Jones. And rounding out the Pro-Am split, Douglas Furnish. Some chaos ensued race one. Oh no. We're going to go ahead and run a quick ad. If you guys do not want to see ads and you have a Prime sub to spend, please do that. Otherwise, Koss died race one. Kosovoon dies race one all the time. Just like I said last week. All right, guys. I'm going to run an ad. And we will catch you back at... hopefully these guys will be out on track. Be right back. He won. No way. All right. The ad is running. Grab yourself a drink. Thank you for being here for this intermission. I am enjoying a coffee. Made our own cold brew. I've also got water. Yes, coffee at 8:30 at night. If I didn't drink coffee, I would be asleep. Thank you all for your patience as we wait for these drivers to start. Oh, I don't know what the wait time is, unfortunately. With that said, still another minute on the ad. Looks like we have Mike Burkhoff in the pits. Maybe that's what's causing the delay there. I don't know what's going on with that. There we go. Let's go pro split. Hello, Adam Turai. How are you? The drivers are starting to go out. P2 thoughts? I think that you did a couple risky sends, but otherwise, it was a great race. You did a good job. I'm doing good as well, Mr. Turai. I am doing good as well. I'm tired. I've been up since 4 in the morning with no breaks today. Had to work all morning. Next week, I will be good, though, because I will have Tuesday off. So that'll be nice. Those two dudes tapped and they took the gap. As you do sometimes, you know? Sometimes it's just what you got to do. Anyways, Jaden, go finish your race 2. All the planes landed. Yep, they landed. All right, the ad is completed. We will not be interrupted for the rest of the stream, thankfully. Gotta go for the gap if it's there. If it's there. Don't force a gap, though. Well, that's because Jaden doesn't know how to spell. I mean, look at his name. It's a weird name to begin with, right? Race lap hasn't started yet. Okay, gotcha. Bye. The drivers are finishing up their out lap now. They're about to go through the final corners. We're going to turn off the music and get ready for race 2. This is the pro split, pros and pro-ams. Mike Burkhoff starting from the pits. I'm not sure what the reasoning is. Maybe he wants to do a last to first. Maybe he's just not here for the second race. We will see. With that said, these drivers are here for bragging rights. There's no prizes for these drivers. For the AMs, however, there is. The top 3 drivers in points at the end of the series will get Track Titan subscriptions, 6-month, 3-month, and 1-month, respectively. Nick Kanya will lead the first or the second race for the Pro-Ams. All 17 drivers on track, one of them in the pits. We are green at Valencia race 2, Pro-Am and Pro Split. Lots of drivers moving to the inside, trying to get an overtake done. Hopefully no deaths will occur in this instance. See, it looks like everybody was fairly safe through that. I didn't see any bonks, which is great to see. Lots of very close racing between the pros. You can definitely tell these guys are in the higher split. There's no deaths that have occurred in turn 1 like we saw with the AMs. However, there's going to be a wider range of skill levels, so we will see the drivers start to fall off as well. Burnish has moved up a couple positions. Mike Burkhoff is out on track. He is doing a last to first, which is great. Side-by-side action between Harrell and Clark. Harrell getting around him, easy peasy. Looks like he's one of the only ones to actually move up in position so far. We do have a couple other position changes, but not a lot. Side by side between Ramirez and Ramos. Overtakes are being done without me being able to catch them as it happens. Swanseeger trying to send it to the inside of Willems. Not going to happen as they go into turn 12. Up the hill they go. Well, no. B-I-N-G-O, as we were talking last week. Trying to get an overtake done on Devin Anthony ahead. Lap 1 is completed now. Kanya leading. Kasaboon in second and Figgins in third. Yeah, sort of a clean turn 1 this time. Absolutely. See these drivers kind of starting to split up. Kanya's running away from the pack. Kasaboon, Figgins, and Gerber all fighting for that second place position. Figgins in the middle of the pack here. Doesn't want to be pressured too much by Gerber behind. Wants to put as much pressure on Kasaboon ahead as he can. Kasaboon, I don't know what's up with your livery, man. You have to figure that out. Kasaboon starting to run away a little bit from Figgins. Figgins still feeling that pressure from Gerber behind. Doesn't want to give up that position. No real overtakes occurring at the moment. Looks like the closest people we have right now is Harrell and Tony Danzig. Tony, one of our long-standing Noobs Rush drivers, has been here since we started. Happy to see him fighting in the top 5 where he belongs. I'm excited to get back out on track with these drivers in the intermediate series. Get to racing again. I believe we start with Valencia on Sunday. I can't remember what the track is. I have to look again. No position changes that lap. It looks like there wasn't a single position change. All 17 drivers, 16 looks like now. driving down the same straight. Ooh, we got somebody going really narrow there. Jones, all the way to the inside. I think he's just giving Burkhoff the position. He says, you know what, just go. Oh, an overtake opportunity going on here. We got a bonk going on as well. I'm going to back that up. I want to see the whole thing as it developed. Clark, as he went in, looks like he just sent it to the inside and ended up bonking at 326 of Harrell. Willems and Ramos racing each other as well. Swanseger in the mix. This train between 5th and 14th, all within a second of each other. So there's a huge train right here. You can see Swanseger and Devin Anthony going at it for just a split moment there. Will No fighting for 12th place as well. There's a huge gap of drivers. James Cossaboon. Figgins right behind. Onboard cam with Figgins. We will do that right now as they're crossing the start-finish line. Nice and heavy braking. A little bit wide. He's going to use it, and he's probably going to get an off track. He's going to stay far to the right, tuck in hard to the left, staying more narrow than Cossaboon ahead, going wider on the exit as well. Cutting a lot of that corner on the left, staying to the center. He wants to be defensive to Gerber behind. That's what that is. You can see whenever he's staying more towards the center, it's because he's got Gerber there. Doesn't want Austin to stick his nose in a position. Tucking right in behind Cossaboon. Austin Gerber behind was the previous AM winner on this track and is no longer an AM, as you can see, as he's fighting for top 3 in the Pro-Am split, or the Pros and Pro-Ams as well. Figgins pulling away from Gerber, still staying right behind James. Really narrow early on the throttle. Got to try and get on the throttle earlier because that Mustang will run away. Light tap of the brakes over the curb early on the throttle. I'm going to just try and close the gap up here into this apex. Such a difficult corner. As you can see, Will goes fairly wide there, misses the apex altogether. What a great lap by Mr. Figgins. Even though he was slower than Cossaboon that entire lap and fell off, he's still faster than I'll ever be on this track. So, good lap by Figgins. Some battling on track. Looks like we got a side-by-side 3 wide situation developing. Devin Anthony staying on the inside of Casey Swanseger. He's going to leave enough space for Casey to rejoin and be defensive to know. Oh, there's the bonk. Casey getting spun, losing some time to know. Devin not going to complete the overtake in that situation. I feel like Casey is always bonked every single race. Like nothing he can do about it. Got Ramirez trying to fight ahead. He's side by side with Casey Swanseger now as they come out of turn 6. Down this little back straight towards turn 7. That little kink right there up ahead of him. Casey once again has to worry about Devin Anthony behind while also trying to get an overtake done. He's actually gone really wide. Devin Anthony's now side by side with Casey Swanseger. Casey going to be on the inside into turn 10 and 11. Devin doing the switchback, getting the overtake done through turn 11. Nope, not going to get it done. Still side by side once again into turn 10, or turn 11 rather. I said it wrong twice. 12 hits the sausage curb, bonks Casey, and loses those positions. Casey's going to hold the train back. Unfortunate for Devin Anthony. Now Casey's got to gain all that time back to catch back up to Ramirez. Wes Jones on the back of this train wants a piece of it. He knows he absolutely can move up. He just doesn't want to do it. Jones is definitely a nervous wreck here and admitted that he didn't feel comfortable being in this split. But he is fighting Devin Anthony and other drivers. even though he's in last, he is on pace with them, so he is where he belongs. Is it Ib Schofield? I can't remember how to say it. You said it like you came in last time with the raid. I appreciate it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. We're watching our Pro and Pro-Am split on their second race of tonight. We just finished watching the AMs. We are seeing some battles go on for our Pros and Pro-Ams. So thank you for the raid again. 2 weeks in a row. I really appreciate it. If you guys are watching and not following, feel free to go over and give him a follow. Barry. I'll try and call you Barry. I probably won't remember next week. I'm bad with names. I'm bad with names in our entire community. So thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Matt Kosovo still trying to hold off from Figgins again. Nick Klaus 92. Thank you for the follow. Figgins staying right behind James. James going to be extremely defensive. Figgins moving back to the right. He's going back to the left. Ooh, that could have been dangerous. Luckily, no bonks occurred. Kosovo did a great job being defensive in that whole situation. Figgins sticking his nose to the inside, turn 2. Little bit of a tap. Just a little bit of paint swap. And Figgins getting the overtake done for second place. Will James try to retaliate and get that position back? Don't know. We'll have to see in the next lap or so. James also has to worry about Gerber behind. That was a great overtake by Figgins. Moving further back, we got Harrell in the mix with Tony Danzig. Tony's going wide there. Harrell's more or less around, however. Tony's going to see if he can put his nose back in as they come through turn 6. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Harrell's going to try and run away. Tony Danzig now has Clark behind to worry about. Clark thought about sticking his nose in, trying to trip him up. He did not trip up Tony Danzig. Tony's very level-headed right now. I think that's because he's not drinking tonight. Onboard cam with Tony. We'll get that as he crosses the start-finish line. Tony has Clark to deal with behind. Does not want to be where he's at. Has fallen off from Harrell. Tony's fastest lap of the race was a 32 flat. Harrell's was a 31.6. So Tony definitely is off pace, and he's where he qualified, so it's kind of a weird situation to be in. Tony about to cross that start-finish line. We'll get on board with him. Start-finish line. We'll watch a defensive line race unless he can catch up to Harrell. Light tap of the brakes just to get that nose to turn in. Using all of the track, he is going to be defensive here. Harrell's going to see if he can poke his nose in. Tony's going to just beeline for the apex. Going to keep him behind. Using all of that curve, is going to slip a little bit because of it. Once again, using the next corner as well. Does not need to be defensive at this point. Harrell may gain some ground. He is gaining some ground here. Tony's not going to be defensive. Not quite. He is going to turn in early. Using a little bit of grass there. Tony, you need to stay on the track, buddy. You want to catch back up to Harrell ahead. You can see Clark in that rearview mirror, rearview camera. He keeps poking his nose in, trying to trip him up. It's not happening. Tony Danzig is losing time because of it, though. There's enough battling going on that he's not going to gain any time to Harrell ahead. He's actually down a whole other second from the last lap, so almost 2 seconds down in one single lap. Clark has fallen off a little bit. That's giving Tony some breathing room. Not early enough on the gas, so Clark is going to gain a little bit of ground here. Tony does not need to be defensive. It's going to be just offensive enough, though. And on the way out, crossing the start-finish line, still in 6th place. Holding that position to Clark. Clark has closed up that gap. Clark is going to poke his nose in. Not going to happen. That battle is still going on. Tony in the defensive position side by side now with Clark. He's going to hold the apex into turn 2. What a battle for the 6th place position. Very safe driving from both of these drivers. Oh, Tony Danzig slipping. Holding the position, though. My goodness gracious, I had a mini heart attack because of that. The battle still rages for the 6th place position. Clark really wants to get around him. Clark has done a 31.287 this race, so he absolutely has the pace to get around him. He just doesn't have the the opportunity to do so with Tony being defensive in the correct places on track. Doing a great job with it. We still have some other battles on track. You can see how close the grid is. We're halfway through the race, and everybody is still within a sector of each other, except for 17th place, who has dropped out. Tony Danzig trying to pull away. I don't know if it's going to happen. All this battling has allowed Ramos to try and get in as well. Ramos and Willems behind. We have a couple other battles on track. I don't really want to drop away from this because it is still occurring. I do want to watch Willems. We may be able to see both battles happen at once. Willems tucking his nose in. Trying to get an overtake done on Ramos. They are side by side into turn one. You can see how much closer they are than the AMs were. They are maybe a foot away from each other down that front straight. The AMs will be like a whole car width between each other. So you can definitely tell the difference in skill level. Tony Danzig still got Clark to worry about here. That was a good overtake by Willems, by the way. Tony is doing a great job holding off Clark, but he is losing so much time to Harrell ahead. If Tony had, if it was something that Tony's thinking about, he could let Clark around and try and just follow him. Ooh, see how narrow he makes him go. It's not going to be enough for an overtake. Really good battling going on. I'm going to move up to James Costaboon and Gerber. These two drivers fighting for that third place position. Gerber absolutely wants that podium finish. The battles up here in the front, while they do occur, are going to be more few and far between. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, guys. I'm exhausted, but they will occur. It's just not going to happen as often as you'll see at mid-pack or even in the bottom. We got Will Figgins going into the pits. Must have a drive-through. We saw him go off track a couple of times, so Figgins is no longer going to be in that podium position, giving James and Gerber second and third place relatively. Look at that train of cars down the front straight. Tony Danzig being defensive in nearly every corner to Clark. Willems is now on Clark's tail. So Clark, while he's going to be offensive, has to also be defensive. Ramos behind this group is looking to try and catch up as well. Even with somebody behind him, Clark is not backing down. Oh, right when I say that, he starts slipping off track. He is sliding across the track. Woo! That could have been dangerous. Clark, losing all those positions, has to try and regain it now. Tony Danzig, I would say, has some breathing room, but has Willems right behind. So the breathing room is mostly gone. Willems, however, is on pace. Nope, I take that back. A little bit. They're about on pace. Tony has been a whole second lap slower because of the battling, but they're about on pace with each other. 32 flat for Tony, 32-1 for Willems. So we'll have to see how this battle goes. Let's move towards the back. Mike Burkhoff started in the back. Excuse me. Started in the pits and has now made his way up into 10th place and is now behind Emmanuel Ramirez. And try and gain that ground. He wants to be in the top 10 for sure. Devin Anthony right behind Furnish. Furnish being defensive enough to keep Devin from attempting an overtake. Devin sliding through turn one is going to lose that ground that he just gained on Furnish. It's not something you see very often in turn one. Moving back up, Costaboon and Gerber still fighting for that second place position. They are both podium now. Actually, all three platinum drivers, with the exception of Mike Burkhoff, are in the top three where they belong. Mike Burkhoff still trying to get around Ramirez. You can see him going to the inside through turn 7 and turn 8. There is a bonk that occurred. Mike's going to back off. Try and get around him in a little bit more clean. Mike, a very competent driver. You very rarely see him with any sort of incidents. James Kosovoon just had an incident. Looked like he just lost a little bit of time and is now behind Gerber. No bonks occurred that I saw. Moving back again. Devin Anthony and Douglas Furnish still fighting for that 11th place position. You can see that track map now starting to get a little bit more split up. First place is running away from second and third. There's still this battle, though. We're approaching the last 10 minutes of the race. A third of the way through. Furnish is going to be defensive again. If Devin can hold on to it and not slip through this, he does have the opportunity to go for an overtake into turn 2. Furnish going extremely wide, holding that speed. Devin giving him a little flash. Devin's going to still just tuck right into that slipstream every corner until he's right on his tail. Then he'll go for the overtake. There it goes. He's moving his nose in. Just a quick nose positioning. It's going to allow him to be alongside. However, Furnish is on the defensive line for turn 6 and is going to gain that ground back. Devin's doing a lot of battling. He's got to worry about Will Figgins behind now. A lot of battling. I'm going to look back up here with Danzig and Willems. P1 through 4 have all fallen off from each other, so we're not going to see a whole lot of battling from them, but P5 and 6 are still battling. Willems pushing as hard as he can. Tony Danzig's last lap was his best lap of the session with a 32 flat. Willems' 32.307 was his last lap, but definitely still with that slipstream has the ability to gain and possibly do an overtake. It's going to be right on his tail through turn 1. Tony slipping a little bit. That's going to be enough to close up that gap with Willems behind. Not enough to go for the overtake, though. I do want to look at Willems' livery at some point, either today or during the season, because he's painted another livery and it looks awesome again. I want to check it out before the end of the season, absolutely for sure. All right, he's starting to fall off. We do have Mike Burkhoff up in 9th. He was able to get around Ramirez. Is now behind Will No. Burkhoff still trying to work his way up. I don't know if we'll see him get into the top 3 or even the top 4 before the end of the race. But Mike has been known to do it before, so we'll see what happens. Mike closing that gap to No ahead. No also has Ramos ahead that he's trying to catch up to. So we'll see what happens if No's going to even be defensive or if he's just going to allow Mike to get around, knowing that he is that white plate driver. And maybe just follow him into another overtake, it looks like. No is going to be slightly defensive through the final corner, allowing Mike to get a better run on the exit, closing up that gap further as these drivers go down across the start-finish line. You see Mike going to the inside, going to come right back, not going to go for the overtake into turn 1. You can see how aggressive Mike wants to be. He wants to get the overtake done, but he doesn't want to put No in a position that he's not able to race. Doesn't want to hit him. It looks like Figgins was able to get around just looking at the relative on the side of the screen. Figgins was able to get around Furnish and Devin, so completed that. Furnish and Devin are still fighting for position. Will No looks like he's got a fairly cool livery too. Take a look at his at some point as well. Mike Burkhoff able to get alongside Will No into turn 8, out braking him and completing the overtake before the apex. Good overtake by Burkhoff. Unfortunately, that allowed them both to fall off Ramos, but Burkhoff will catch up rather quickly, I'm sure. Furnish has the yellow flag spinning out. Let's see what happened. Hang on just a second here. Oh, it looks like he got rear-ended by Devin Anthony, causing him to spin. That was extremely unfortunate. That's putting him all the way in last as he waits for the other drivers to cross in front of him. Ooh, and then spun out because he didn't want to hit the other one. He spun again, it looks like. Furnish needs to take a deep breath and just keep his head down at this point. Moving up to the front. Well, not quite the front. Nick Kanya is 4.8 seconds ahead, but Kosovoon and Gerber still fighting for that podium position. Kosovoon was able to catch back up. It was an absolute good move, yep. Some killing happened, yep. Matty Boomsticks, hello. Matty Boomsticks, how do I know you? I feel like I've seen you before. How long have you been following? Have you been following for a while? I feel like I've seen you around. Yo, hello. Gerber got to drive through. No. Gerber's going to have to jump into the pits. Which is going to allow James to get back up. However, Gerber will end up fighting Figgins, I'm sure, because Figgins has worked his way back up. So, did a couple races that had a baby. Okay, got it. Well, I have seen you before. Hopefully, we'll get you back out on track again. Is he going to serve it? Yes, he will serve his drive-through. Unfortunately, we don't see penalties with this current on-screen information. I wonder if there's a way I can implement that or ask race elements to do that. So James will be alone at this point. Battle for 5th place is still occurring between Willems and Danzig. Ooh, Mike Burkhoff side-by-side with Ramos. Down the front straight. I've only got one child. We're a one-and-done family. Ooh, side by side, a little bit of a bonk. Slipping for the Ferrari and Mike Burkhoff. Three wide situation developed because of it. Mike Burkhoff does have the apex. No behind. Also has Ramos to deal with. He's able to get around. Ramos has lost 2 positions because of that, looks like. And now Ramos has Ramirez behind to worry about. Tony Danzig has Willems behind. No gains or losses there. Ramirez going to the inside. Not going to happen. He backed out just enough. Only 2. Ugh. I can imagine having that many kids. I've got 3 dogs. 3 dogs and 1 kid. My kiddo's 10 years old. At least he will be this year. I can't remember. Was he? Something like that. Yeah. No, I think he'll either be 10. Oh my goodness, what a bonk! I think he'll be 11 this year. Bonk by Ramirez, causing Ramos to slip out, get hit by Figgins. We were just watching the right driver at the right time for that. Right, Ramirez now up a couple positions. Ramos now down a couple of extra positions. Mike Burkhoff is caught up to Willems ahead. Nope, I take that back. Noah is caught back up to Willems. We'll see what happens there. Devin Anthony, Gerber, Ramos, these 3 drivers. Yeah, once it gets to the midway, people start getting they're getting hasty. They want the overtakes. We're 3 minutes in. They just want you. I'm not going to say anything. Not going to say anything, okay? We'll just leave it at that. We saw some bonks from drivers we didn't expect to see bonks from, so. Gerber and Devin Anthony about to go side by side. Devin tucking right in behind Gerber. Final 3 minutes of the race. Devin absolutely wants to get those positions back. He's down. Wait, we're looking at Austin Gerber. Gerber's down 7 positions from where he started. Devin is up 3, so he wants to gain more positions. Gerber, having started way up in the front and having done the drive-through, can definitely get around these drivers. Doesn't want to have to battle for them, but if he's able to get around these drivers quickly, and if Will Figgins makes a mistake, he will end up getting around Will. Danzig and Willems still fighting. No real time gain. I think they're starting to feel content with their positions. Willems isn't really going for any overtakes. Sometimes he pokes his nose, but doesn't actually go for the overtake. We'll see if he does it this time into turn 1. He is. There's a bonk. It's going to send him wide. He's going to tuck right back in behind. Luckily, nothing bad came with that. But Tony Danzig, it's like he saw it, but just late enough. Moving down to Figgins. Figgins and Ramirez. Figgins, right on his tail. Sorry I'm being kind of chill, guys, and quiet. The races are, I mean, there's still lots of position swapping going around, but it's fairly chill. Until then, oh my goodness, side-by-side action. Figgins and Ramirez. Ramirez just got slippy, allowing Figgins to get right up next to him. Luckily, no extra bonks occurred, and Figgins able to run away. Moving back again into this pack of 3. Gerber absolutely has the pace to get around Ramos ahead. He's just not able to get it done. And because of Devin behind, Devin being aggressive is kind of causing Gerber to get in a position where he falls off. Commentary's on point. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Leaders on final lap now.
We're on the final lap of the race, everybody. Ooh, Tony Danzig. Willems, these guys are actually getting side by side as they're coming through the final corner. Willems trying to get the better run on the exit. He does get the better run down this front straight. Is it going to be enough for him to get an overtake done? Tony's going to be defensive this time. Side by side for just a moment. Tony Danzig slipping all the way to the inside, coming all the way back to the outside. 30 minutes of defense. You're absolutely right. Tony has been bothered this race. And sometimes it's just the way it goes. Another moment of overtake opportunity going on with Gerber still. These two drivers have been going at it ever since the drive-through. The Minister of Defenses. The Defense Minister. That's a cool little nickname. Should change his name on Discord to that. Oh, Gerber. What happened here? I'm going to back it up. They're still battling, but we had a moment here. See what happened here. They go into turn 4. Ooh, there was a bonk that caused that BMW to slip. Gets back on track ahead of him. A little bit of slipping and sliding. I think at this point, drivers are starting to relax. P1, Nick Kanya, zigzagging across the start-finish line. Good job, Nick. James Casaboon, second place after a crash in the first race. Harrell will be in third. Tony Danzig still trying to hold off Willems as they're coming across the start-finish line. I don't think Willems is going to have the speed to get around him. They're going to be fourth and fifth. Mike Burkhoff has no right behind. Ooh, we got some spinning going on. Hopefully nobody's hurt. Nobody's hands are hurt. Ramirez in ninth. Drivers are crossing the start-finish line too quickly. I can't really catch them all. Clark, Ramos, and Gerber. 11th, 12th, 13th. Wes Jones finishing ahead of Douglas Furnish in 14th. You can see Furnish coming around the final corner now in 15th. Ahead of Casey Swanseeger and Simon Tonkin, who are DNFs. That was a pretty good race for the pro split, though. I'm not going to lie. That was a pretty dang good race. We will have our post-race interviews here shortly.
Green light, go, go, go.
Don't listen to the green light, go, go, go. That's not actually happening. It was a good battle. There was a lot of really good battles for the pro split. Compared to last week, it kind of got lonely for a bit. With that said, I will start pulling drivers in. Let's get them pulled in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers. I don't know if we have any AM drivers at all. Looks like it's all pros. Hello, everybody. I want everybody to say hello all at the same time. Hello.
Hello.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
That was so fucking so cringe.
Well, I'm glad you got to enjoy the cringe. I was reading something in chat that somebody had typed out, but I'm not going to, to read it out loud. Hello, everybody. I want to start with James Casaboon. James, you had a bad race 1, which we did not see.
Oh, it's absolutely horrible.
How was your race 2?
Race 2 was just about as bad in my opinion because I spent the entire race unlearning all of the bad things I had from race 1 because I ended the race with 1 minute and 7 seconds of damage.
Well,
So I was driving the first race from lap 1 with a broken car. I think I got like 20 minutes into the second race before I figured out all of my reference points again.
well, you did a great job in the second race. Unfortunately, you weren't able to continue racing Will because he had a drive-through, but it did give you that free position. And then I believe, who was it that you were racing against? Gerber?
Yeah, Gerber.
He fell off, or you fell off, or something happened.
Nope.
But
He
oh yeah, he had a drive-through as well. So
he passed me fair and square. They got a drive-through.
oh man, that sucks for him too. But great race by you. There was a lot of good battling up there for you, with you, Gerber, and Will early on too. So good job,
Yeah.
James.
Thank
Mr. Figgins, hello. We didn't see your first race. Your second race, you finished mid-pack because of the drive-through. How was your first race?
First race was pretty good. I ended up in 3rd position, pending a possible penalty that might come my way. That might knock me down to 4th.
Third overall, you were first for our pro-am.
True, yes. But yeah, I did a pretty aggressive move on Gerber. I believe there was contact, so I might get a penalty for that, but it is what it is.
Well, unfortunately, we weren't able to see it. Your first race was a lot of good battling until that drive-through you had, so it was good to see. I want to see you fighting in the front without abusing the track limits next week, okay? With that said, let's move on to... I want to talk to Nick really quick. Nick, your second race was lonely. Was it lonely during the first race as well?
Not super lonely. I had Mike chasing me most of the race. Then, towards the end, had a moment in the kink there. Decided to go play in the sand for a bit. So got to chase him for the last 12 minutes or so. But yeah, ended up second there. And then yeah, this race was just about being consistent, staying, just keeping a good pace. Don't need to push too hard, lose it or anything.
Well, good job. Great to see you all the way up in first. With that said, let's move on to Mike Burkhoff. Mike, it looks like you did a last to first situation, or was that an accident during your second race?
No, I just started from the pits. There's no time between the races, so I had to do adult things.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so that was, but it was a lot of fun. The second race was super fun. Everybody was it was like just good racing.
yeah, we saw you working your way up through. There was a couple of little bonks here and there, but luckily nobody spun too much around you, and you were able to get back up into the top 10. So, great job.
There was really no trouble. There was a really one point, like we were heading into turn 1 or something, where there was kind of mayhem. But sometimes that happens on this track. Like sometimes there's just like a bunch of mayhem going into turn 1. But I mean, later in the race, like where everybody's already at speed, and it's kind of scary. But yeah, race 1, Nick did an awesome job. I didn't have any more speed in this Ferrari, and I had nothing left. I was just hoping that he made some kind of fumble, and he ended up just like, getting the suspension wobbled there on that kink, and that was enough to get the lead. So that was also a really fun race. So good stuff.
That's all great. I hope to see you guys racing for those top 3 positions in the second race. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Next week's all one race, so hopefully we'll just see you guys racing for it in one race next week. With that said, I'm going to move on to Russell Harrell. Russell, hello. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing all right.
Good. You got third place because people ahead of you ended up not able to hold their racing lines and going off track and all of that, but that gave you a podium nonetheless, and there was a lot of battling between you and Tony. How was that being stuck behind Tony for so long during that race?
Oh, it was awful, but it was awesome. it was a blast. We were in call together. Yeah, the first race I couldn't stay on the track either, so no hate to the guys ahead of me. But second race we clutched up, so yeah, it was a blast.
Well, that's awesome. It's great to see you up there and racing for the top and racing
Yes,
Tony
sir.
Danzig nonetheless. Speaking of Tony Danzig, Mr. Tony, we were talking about you during the race. and how you were the poor guy that had to defend the entire
my-
race. I don't think
My
you
back is sweaty.
I don't think you had a moment to relax for the full 30 minutes
I-
of that race.
I'm pretty sure I didn't. I put up the Great Wall of Danzig and I said, nope.
Well, you did a great job being defensive. There was a couple moments where you had people behind you that were a whole second a lap faster than you pace-wise, but not able to get around you because of how defensive you were. So you did an awesome job, and
Thank you.
can't wait to see how you do next week as well.
Yeah, I'm excited.
With all that
Monza,
said,
baby.
we've got one driver from the AM split. It is Shane Subi Dodger. Shane, hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? How was your
yeah,
races? We were able to see you kind of getting some bonks and stuff during race 1, but how did your races go overall for the AMs?
It wasn't bad. Qualified second behind Aguido. He said it was his home track, and so I mean we knew that he was going to come out with a fast pace. But unfortunately got that bonk in turn 1, and when somebody comes sliding through the field like that, and you're the only one that gets hit, you know, it just kind of it is what it is. You can't be mad about that, you know. So, but race 2 went well, and it's we have a lot of AMs this season, so it's cool to see.
Well, it's great to see you racing up there. We were talking about you in chat and how you are one of the most improved drivers so far from last season to this season, and it's great to see you improving and continuing to race for the top drivers. So.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not all obviously like putting in some practice, but I got to shout out Eric for the setups for the Lambo, and got with our Ping a Mentor program. I've been talking to Kanya and Nico, and so everybody's really been helping me out, and I really appreciate it.
With that said, we just pulled in. How do you say your name? Is it Aguido Martinez?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How do you say your name?
Aguedo Martinez.
I butchered it.
Aguido Martinez. Hola.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not good at speaking Spanish. Hopefully, your English is better than my Spanish.
My English is regular, but I can understand you.
Okay. Well, we watched you do some racing. You're new to the community, and it's great to see you kind of dominating on your way in. You're doing a great job. Are you worried at all about the possibility about moving up into the Pro AM split?
Well, I've been working to do this race because it's in Valencia, Spain.
Yeah. So
and I was the local driver. Well, it's a joking.
I think you did a great job. We're happy to have you here. We can't wait to see how you do next week. It's not going to be in Spain. It's going to be in Italy this time. So good luck. Good luck to everybody. It will be a combined race with all drivers on track. Keep in mind, race the lap 1, turn 1 is going to be chaotic. So hopefully we see you guys. Even though you're in the lead of the AM split, you will be mid-pack-ish with all the Pro AMs and Pros on track. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all for joining me in the booth tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for you.
I'm going to end the stream. You guys feel free to jump to another voice channel while I do that.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to kick these guys out. Bye. All right. Thank you guys for joining us in chat tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the raids and the follows. And James, thanks for the resub. 5 months. I appreciate it. Bad, he says, as he was talking to me in the booth. We are going to raid somebody. Hollywood Gaming is their name. So let's go show them some love. They're finishing up career mode at Calunia. I don't know how career mode works. I've never done it, but let's send them a raid. Go say hi to them. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have an ad starting in 2 minutes. Hopefully we don't have to see that ad. We can just go straight to the raid. Have a great night, everybody.